You've been told your whole life that eye contact means honesty, that looking away means you're hiding something, that confident people lock eyes, weak people don't. Here's what nobody tells you. The people who don't make eye contact aren't weak. They're protecting themselves from a world that never asked why eye contact hurts in the first place. We've built an entire social contract around direct gaze, and then we punish those who can't meet its terms. This isn't about rudeness, it's about survival. Picture this. You're 7 years old, sitting in a classroom with fluorescent lights humming overhead. The teacher calls on you. 23 pairs of eyes turn toward your desk. You feel your throat tighten. Your hands go cold. You look down at your sneakers, the ones with the Velcro straps you can't quite fasten yourself yet. Someone laughs. You don't know why. But you learn something in that moment. Eyes are dangerous. Or maybe it's different. You're sitting at dinner with your grandmother. She's speaking to you in her language, the one your parents don't use anymore. She gestures, animated, passionate. You look directly at her eyes. She stops mid-sentence. "Don't stare at me like that," she says quietly. "Show respect." You look down. You learn eye contact can be an insult. Or this. You're on the autism spectrum. Eye contact doesn't feel like connection. It feels like static. Like someone turned the volume on the world to 11. Your brain is already processing every flicker of eyelid movement, every micro-expression, every shift in pupil dilation. Looking into someone's eyes doesn't bring you closer. It short-circuits you. Psychologists call it gaze aversion, but that clinical term doesn't capture what's really happening. For people with social anxiety, eye contact activates the threat detection system. The amygdala lights up. The body prepares for judgment. Because when you've been scrutinized your whole life, another person's gaze doesn't feel neutral. It feels like an evaluation, a courtroom where you're always the defendant. So you look away, not because you're rude, because your nervous system is trying to keep you safe. Then there's what neuroscientists call sensory overload. For autistic individuals, for people with ADHD, direct eye contact isn't just uncomfortable, it's neurologically overwhelming. The brain is already working overtime to decode speech, manage proximity, regulate stimuli. Add eye contact, the system crashes. So they look at your chin, your forehead, the wall behind you. Not because they don't care, because they're trying to actually hear you. And for people carrying trauma, eye contact can trigger the past. PTSD survivors often avoid direct gaze because eyes can become portals to memories, to fear, to moments they've spent years trying to forget. Their gaze aversion isn't avoidance of you, it's self-preservation. Even culture shapes this. In some Asian cultures, avoiding eye contact signals respect, not disinterest. In indigenous Australian communities, looking down shows humility before elders. What the West calls confidence, other cultures call arrogance. The rules were never universal. We just pretended they were. So let's reframe this. People who don't make eye contact aren't missing a social skill. They've developed a different one. They're hyper-aware. They notice tone, posture, the tiny shift in your breathing when you're uncomfortable. They've learned to read the world without staring at it. That's not a deficit. That's adaptation. And here's the superpower nobody mentions. People who avoid eye contact often make better listeners. Because they're not performing attention. They're not maintaining eye contact just to seem engaged. They're actually processing what you're saying, without the distraction of decoding your facial micro-expressions in real time. Their gaze aversion is a shield, yes, but it's also a filter. It protects them from overstimulation, from judgment, from a world that demands they perform connection in one specific way. And refusing to perform, that takes courage. People who don't make eye contact are the moon. They reflect light, but they don't burn you with it. They orbit at a distance that feels safe, and the world calls them cold for it. But the moon doesn't owe you its face. It pulls the tides. It guides the lost. It exists steady and necessary whether you're looking at it or not. So the next time someone doesn't meet your eyes, consider this. Maybe they're not hiding. Maybe they're just protecting something you can't see. And maybe that deserves respect, not suspicion. Because eye contact was never the only way to be seen.